Morrill Hall was built here at Michigan State University in 1900 by a firm of Pratt and Copa. And this building is, well, it's a neoclassical building. It's the red sandstone from the Upper Peninsula around the entrance areas and the red brick that is dominant on the circle as you come around.
I mean, if you look at other places at campus when that's not the case, I mean, it definitely doesn't have the same kind of feel, the same kind of the same kind of vibe that West Circle has.
A place like Morrill Hall has history, and history is important, and so you don't want to take that lightly.
Morrill Hall is a very important building to our campus, in part because it bears the name of Morrill, who was named for Justin Morrill, who was a legislator from Vermont, from a congressman who introduced the Morrill Act of 1862 that provided land for states to create universities that were devoted to the study of agriculture and the mechanical arts, and to provide a practical liberal education for students across the country. And this particular building is important because it was named for Morrill in really not until 1937. Up until that time, it was known as the Women's Building because it was a women's residence hall that housed 120 students who were particularly interested in studying domestic sciences, they were called at the time, and the kind of practical home studies. And it included in the building during that period of time not just residence halls, but actually cooking laboratories, parlors, and behind the building there was actually a small pond. So it was really a tranquil setting. But in 1937, the women who were living here were moved into the residence halls on Circle Drive, the newly built residence halls, and this building was converted then to Morrill Hall.
I think it takes away from the historical aspect. I mean, that's something that's really important to me. But I do think, you know, if it's a hazard to people who have to work in there, like if it's got old dusty stuff, they should take it down because it's a health thing.
On the other hand, there are conditions in the building that aren't safe. And as I understand it, the method of building has changed to the degree that it can't really be renovated successfully.
Now the challenge that Michigan State faces is that this building, unlike most of the early buildings in the Circle Drive area, is the only building that is, the interior construction is all timber. So in other words, all the load-bearing walls are wood studs. And over the years, it's become more and more of a concern about the health and safety of people in this building. Therefore, there are plans now underway to raise this building and build a new building to replace it and relocate the faculty and staff who have been here now for many years.
Not something ugly and modern. I think I like the integrity of
Feel
the
campus.
Yeah, I do. I think that's really important.
Well, whatever they want to build in its place, I mean, it's got to be something that kind of like stays true to the environment, you know what I mean?
The center of the campus has become very much known not only as just the Circle area, but the very center of the campus around Beaumont Tower and near the MSU Museum is often referred to as the sacred space. No additional building was to be done here. We're trying to preserve the historical character of this part of the campus. Since that time, of course, there have been new additions and sections to the campus that have been added. There are a couple of options. There's the option of building another building on this very site, possibly building over by Wells Hall, possibly adapting another building on campus to house the occupants here. But in the end, I'm sure there'll be attention given to marking this particular site in some way for the importance of this building on our campus and its history here, whether it be through a historical marker or some other way of recognizing the history of this important building on our campus. I think, if anything, the lesson that we learn from moments like this is the importance of preserving our history and using our history for future generations to learn more and more about our campus as a rich place that tells a story that we all need to learn to read better And Morrill Hall is certainly one of those instructive examples on our campus.